Hi, my name is Marietta Mahani, and this week's muscle conditioning tip and pelvic floor safe. This is a great pelvic floor safe exercise because we're sitting on the ball, so it helps with supporting the pelvic floor. We're also using resistance bands, which makes it a little bit easier to lift or use rather than a load. And with the resistance bands, we're using this product called a Gymstick. So I'll just spin it around so you can see the word Gymstick. Gymstick is a tool that I've been using for a really long time, and I absolutely love using it because I can use it on a Swiss ball, I can use it just on its own. If you're interested in finding out more stuff about Gymstick, check out my website, mariamahani.com, or you can go to YouTube. I have heaps of Gymstick exercises there if you check out my YouTube clips, and you can purchase this product and use it in lots of different ways. So the way we're going to use it today is we're actually going to be using the bands rather than the stick itself. And we're going to place the Gymstick on the floor. So I'm going to place on the floor, and I'm going to place my heels on top of the Gymstick. Now, the reason why I've got my heels on the stick is so that it won't roll from underneath my feet. I'm sitting on the ball and I'm sitting tall. So just turn a little bit side on so you can see my posture. So I'm sitting up on the ball, so I'm sitting up as tall as I possibly can. So the size of ball that you choose is pretty important. You don't want a ball that's too small, which will mean that your hips are lower than your knees and you will tend to slouch. The taller the ball, the easier it is to maintain better posture. So if you're a tall person, you probably need to go for a 65 centimetre ball rather than a 55 that I'm using today. So what we're going to do now is we're going to cross the bands over. We're going to do some shoulder exercises. So I'm going to place the Gymstick on the floor. I've got my heels on the Gymstick, and I'm sitting forwards on the Swiss ball. Cross the bands over, and I've got the straps around my palms. Now I'm going to do a lateral raise. Now, if you find that that's too easy, you just don't have enough tension in the bands, a little trick that you can do is place your whole hand through, so it's around your wrist, and then just turn your palm down, so it's between your thumb and first finger, and wrap the band around the outside of your hand. And you can then wrap the bands as much as you like to increase the intensity, yeah? So that's how you increase resistance for this particular activity. So I've got my elbows bent, and I'm going to lift both arms out to the side. So lifting up to the side and coming back down again. Now, when we do the lateral raise with the arms, with the bands, obviously as the further you come up, the more the bands stretch, more challenging the exercise is. What you want to do is keep your elbows bent as you come up. Even if you want to work a little harder and lengthen the arms out a little bit further, do keep the elbows slightly bent rather than having them completely straightened, which would look like that, because you probably will feel some discomfort in the elbow in not a good way. So have the elbows bent, palms facing each other, palms facing the floor as you come up, and you don't need to go any higher than shoulder height for the lateral raise. Now with the bands, I can now also do one arm at a time. Now to do this successfully when you're using the Gymstick, make sure that this arm doesn't have any tension in it, and you're pulling up with this side. The stick might move a little bit, so make sure there's still a little bit of tension in the band that you're not using, and with the side that you are using, that's the side that you pull up. Such a great exercise. Like, I really like this, and because you're sitting down, you're still getting the same workout. I like the way I'm feeling it in my midsection as I lift my arms up and down. And it's got a lot to do with the fact I'm pulling the band from the opposite side. So rather than a dumbbell that would be here and I'm lifting my arms up, this is a little bit different. So you can play around with different repetitions. So if you're teaching a group fitness class, I would start with maybe lateral raise for 2 blocks. So you'd be doing anywhere between 8 to 16 repetitions, depending on the tempo. And then I would do something that's just one arm at a time. So you're alternating. You could also do so that you do 4 on one side before you switch sides to make it a little bit more interesting as well, if you're teaching a group fitness format. But it's a really effective exercise for the shoulders, particularly the middle deltoid in the middle. And I love this piece of equipment. So if you haven't got a Gymstick, check it out. They're fairly inexpensive. They do pull apart in the middle, so you can travel with them. Didn't think of that. And it weighs less than half a kilo or 1 pound. So, if you want to find out more information, check out my website, mariatamahani.com. Have a look at the YouTube exercises with the Gymstick. And that's this week's muscle conditioning tip.